It's time to take a look inside ECSU Mighty Vikings football. Welcome to Viking Coaches Show with Marcus Hilliard on WRVS 89.9.
Yes, welcome Viking fans to Viking Coaches Show, a weekly show that takes you deep inside Mighty Vikings football. I'm Clay Mercer, and with me I have the pleasure of sitting down every week and talking with ECSU football head coach Marcus Hilliard. Coach Hilliard, good evening to you. Of course, game one is come and gone, and now the Vikings have to get ready for game two. Is it easy to shake off game one as you get prepared for the next game?
It's great to be here, first of all. I love the intro, man, by the way. But, yeah, it's easy to shake off game one, but you don't get over it just because we had the opportunities to actually win the game. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you see some of the things once you go back and watch the film. You can see some of the things that we've been harping on in practice, you know, just game situations. We put our guys in those game simulations and those situations, and, you know, they came to pass on Saturday, and we just got to learn now, you know, we're close. We're close. We just got to get over that hump, and I know I've been saying that, but, you know, it's hard from that standpoint to kind of shake kind of where we were in that football game.
Yeah. And, you know, you talked a little bit about this morning, actually. You said the team was out there having a little bit of practice. Talk about the morale of the team and how practice went today.
Oh, the guys are ready. You know, they know they kind of let it slip away. Mm-hmm. You know, I was preaching at halftime. I told them, man, we're going to get this thing to the fourth quarter, and we're going to pull out a win. Mm-hmm. And it came to pass. You know, we got it to the fourth quarter. We just got to now be able to get over the hump. But the guys know, and the morale is high. Yeah. They know we kind of, you know, you let one slip away. Mm-hmm. And, you know, kudos to Catawba. They're a good football team. But, you know, we let one slip away. But the morale is still high. Yeah. And we're ready and looking forward to this week playing St. Hall for the Down East Viking Classic. Yeah, we'll discuss the Down East Viking Football Classic in a few, but I do want to touch on Saturday's matchup just a little bit of a recap against Catawba. And as you said last week, scheduling of this game was calculated for you and ECSU. And, you know, the Vikings have had difficulties with teams out of the South Atlantic Conference. You knew that this was going to be a stern test for the Vikings. You knew that from the beginning. Yeah. I mean, now the record, Catawba is 3-0 all-time versus Elizabeth City. But we wanted to test ourselves. We just, you know, I felt like we did a good job in recruiting this year, and we wanted to kind of put that out there and see. Let's give ourselves a test. Yeah. You know, we could have scheduled some easier games, but you know, we wanted to see how we matched up against an out of conference opponent, and nobody better than Catawba. Yeah. And you know, if you're looking at it, we matched up pretty well. Now we just got to finish. Now we got to get over the hump and win, actually win the game. Yeah, and we haven't delved into that recruiting class yet. I think we'll save that for the next show, but it really is a very good recruiting class, and we saw some flashes from some of those players out there on the field this past Saturday. It was Education Day at Roebuck Stadium. It was just great seeing staff members from the ECPPS group and in the stands supporting the Vikings, and, of course, the marching sound the class was rocking. It safe to say the atmosphere was everything that the team and you wanted it to be for the first game out. Man, great home atmosphere. I appreciate all the teachers from ECPPS coming out and supporting, and even our faculty. You know, it's faculty day, man, and they came out to support. And, you know, it's just a certain feeling, man. You get the band there, the D-Lights are there, sound of class, and man, we're just ready, man. It was a great home atmosphere. Great to be, you know, home and, you know, have the fans there cheering you on. Yeah, we just talked about with A.D. DuBose in the last show, the game day atmosphere at ECSU was much different, even from the time when you played. You come running out of that helmet, and it's just like, okay, it's game time, and you feel it. So I'm so glad that the game day atmosphere was what it was on Saturday. And the Vikings rewarded the fans really midway through the first quarter as quarterback Chase Williams found Ian Edwards, 43-yard pass for a touchdown. 7-0 lead, feeling pretty good in the stands, feeling good in the booth. And, you know, before we get to that play, let me just talk about the defense. The defensive effort, 2 Catawba possessions, 2 3-and-outs. A very strong defensive start for the Mighty Vikings. Yeah, I thought defensively, man, like I said last week, man, Coach Castillo came in and just implemented his philosophy on defense, and the guys have bought in, man, and they're playing hard, man. And actually, just before, you know, I came up here on the show, Jalen Dollar had got Defensive Player of the Week for our defensive line just for his efforts, man. So I think they came out ready to roll, man. And kind of kept us in the game and gave us a fighting chance.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in a few, too. 3 defensive players for ECSU had double-digit tackles in that game, and we'll get to that in a few moments. But, of course, last week you spoke about your expectations to see the Vikings move the ball a little bit better than last season and light up the scoreboard. Was these type of plays like Chase did and got that touchdown to Edwards, is this kind of what you were talking about?
Yeah. I mean, you know, being able to move the ball and score some points, man, that was big for our just confidence for our offense, man, just seeing kind of where we were last year and being able to know that we can put up some points. Mm-hmm. We can put up some points, man. We just got to not have those turnovers and not have those penalties, man, and be able to complete drives, man. We're going to be pretty dangerous. So it was a good thing to see that, you know, and to give our offense some confidence, like, look, we can really do this thing.
Mm-hmm. And you talked about it before. Chase had some weapons down that field, and we'll talk a little bit about who he was able to find throughout the game. But Catawba, of course, wasted little time and capitalized on a Williams interception at an 8-play drive that led to a touchdown by their quarterback, Preston Brown, to Bro Pryor. And, you know, you're tied at 7 at this point, but still a lot of time left in the second. As you stated last week, both teams were going to make plays, and that's exactly what took place.
Yeah. I told the team that, you know, you got to stay even keel. They're college football players too. Both teams are going to make some plays. We just got to make more of them, and we got to make them more consistently. And, you know, for the most part in that first quarter and that first half we did, you know, but just got to eliminate the mistakes.
Yeah.
Got to eliminate the mistakes.
And ECSU, of course, followed up with Chase using his legs to get into the end zone. It only took the Vikings a little over 3 minutes and 6 plays to make it 14-7. A goal line, 1 yard to get there, and the front line got the job done for you.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we got our package in, our big package, and, you know, I tell the offensive line, man, we got to be able to get a yard.
Yeah.
We got to be able to get a yard, and, you know, they heeded the call on that, and we're able to punch it in.
Yeah, I like that big package. Guys got it done. Catawba struck quickly as Brown completed a pass to Jordan Mitchell for Catawba, and who went 72 yards on this touchdown pass, and he tied the game at 14. Obviously, something went wrong for the Vikings on the defensive side to allow that to happen. Talk a little bit about that play.
Yeah, you know, just a breakdown. And we talked about it, man. You know, we watched the film, just a breakdown on in that situation, and he was able to, you know, score the touchdown. But the thing I like about it, man, the defense took ownership of that. You know, they didn't want that to happen, and, you know, they felt bad about it. And they was like, you know what, we're going to come out and we going to ball. And, you know, and that's what I like to see just from a head coaching standpoint, just seeing, you know, we always talk about culture, just seeing that change. You know, maybe last year it was like, we down, you know, but these guys didn't quit. These guys didn't quit, and it didn't matter.
You talked about reviewing the film, and I guess I want to ask this a week-to-week basis, whether you win or whether you lose. How much of the film from the past game do you all watch, or do you just take clips and say, okay, let's put emphasis on these plays so we can help them learn and get better?
I think it's both. As coaches, we watch it. We definitely got to watch it because you evaluate yourself. What could I have done better to put the guys in a better situation? I watch it just from a team perspective, just, you know, what are our strengths, what are our weaknesses. For us, you know, you don't want to harp on that last game. So we take, you know, my coaching style, you take about 10 good plays, 10 bad plays. Let's talk about the good, you know, emphasize the good, and let's talk about the bad. And, you know, we move on. We talk about some of the things we're going to see for the next week's game. But, you know, with the film, you definitely need to watch that to gauge and see how you're getting better.
I get that. Catawba will score again late in the second quarter. It took a 21-14 lead into the half. What was the mood in the locker room for the players, and what was your message to the team?
My exact message was, look, offensively, I went to the offensive room. You guys are going to come out and score. We're going to get a stop on defense. You're going to score again. We're going to win this game. We're going to take this game into the fourth quarter, and we're going to win the football game. I went to the defense and said the exact same thing. Look, get what happened in the first half. They're going to get a score. We're going to get a stop. We're going to take this game into the fourth quarter, and we're going to win the football game.
Wow.
And that was the exact message. It was nothing else.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Unfortunately, mistakes continue to plague the Vikings in the second half, and Catawba put 10 more points on the board and held the Vikings scoreless in the third. ECSU would flip that in the fourth, though, scoring 9 unanswered points. And with a little under 4 minutes, the Vikings defense stepped up again. You know, Bryce came through with a forced fumble that was recovered by DeMaurian Smith at the Catawba 35. At this point, the Vikings are only down 23-31, and the door is open for a massive comeback by the Vikings. But before we even get into that, we were just talking about special teams. We got a field goal. Talk a little bit about this and how important it is for ECSU football.
It is critical. We made our first field goal in 2 years.
Unbelievable.
Last year, we had a couple field goal attempts, but we didn't make any. Our first game this year, it's progress. And
Yes,
I know
it
people will say, man, what is he talking about? But for me, if you hadn't made a field goal in 2 years and come out your first game and you make not a chip shot, a 44-yard field goal by a rookie.
Yes, I was going to say this is a freshman.
He's a true freshman. Yeah. So you got to see the pressure that was on him. And to come out and make our first field goal in 2 years, man, was remarkable. Man, he felt good. I felt good. The team felt good, man. It was like, wow, And we kind of do something at practice where, it's a little thing, do you believe? Even we did it today, and we let the kickers just pressure kick.
Yeah.
They have to kick, and we tell the guys, if you believe he's going to make it, you line up on this side. And if he makes it, you don't have to run. But if he doesn't, then you have to run. And all our guys believe in all our kickers, even today. And they made all the pressure kicks. So just proud of special teams and how it played a part and how they came through.
Yeah, the kicker is a very important part of the game. I know there were several drives, even last season, where you would get down and you said, man, if we could just get 3 points on this, we feel pretty good. Get 3 points. Now you feel a little bit more confident. And talk a little bit more about the freshman that you brought in at this position.
Yeah, Carson Hancock, man, he's remarkable, man. He's just a young guy, and he takes coaching well. We knew he had a live leg. And he showed it on Saturday, man. And just for him, that gave him so much confidence, man. And and for us, we like, okay, 25 and then we solid, And like you said, last year, man, we don't have to take those chances on fourth down. Hey, Carson, let's go.
Yeah.
We're gonna get 3.
Yeah.
So it just changes how you call a game. Yep. It changes how you call a game. Like I said, we get 27. In the end, plus 27 in the end, it's fourth down. We'll kick the field goal. We feel good about it.
I like it. Again, 23-31 is the score. A little bit around that 4-minute mark. The door is open for a massive comeback. Talk about the mood for the players at this point on the sideline.
Man, the mood was high. The crowd got hyped.
Was up. Yes.
They got hyped, man, and it was like, wow. You start feeling like, man, we really win this game. Like this is going to happen, and just felt good about it, man. And like I said, for the defense to bend, but don't break, and at that point, man, just being able to force that turnover.
Yes.
And that was a situation that we told our guys, this is 4-minute offense. We practice this. Let's get it done. So
yeah. But again, right when you get that great mood and put the Vikings in where they need to be, the very next play, and we talked about it a little bit, an interception thrown by Williams, put the brakes on that comeback attempt. Catawba will go on to win 31-23, but frustration is the word I want to kind of use, and I'm sure you felt it. I'm sure the players felt it, especially in that second half. There was just a moment where I was looking at you on the sideline, and it's almost like you turned away from everybody and you were just talking to yourself. You were just into yourself, and I'm sure, it wasn't just one particular play. It was just an accumulation of kind of some setbacks that the Vikings would have. You would take one step forward and a step or two back. Just an accumulation of how the overall game went for the Vikings.
Yeah, man, it's like self-evaluation. What do I have to do to get us over the hump, man? We're close. It's like you can see the finish line.
Yeah.
And, for me, I take it hard, man, when especially when we lose, but just when my team is not doing well, man, I always challenge myself to say, well, what can I do to get us over this hump, man? And at that moment, it was just like, man, we there, I'm a veteran coach, but I didn't have the answer at that time, man. So I'm just trying to search and just trying to see what do I have to do to, bring it all together for the guys, man. But, again, we stuck with it. Some of the positives, I always talk about the positives, man, of us being able to not give up, come back and have a chance to win it. And, we keep doing that. It's going to turn in our favor.
I think so. We have many more opportunities to bring it to where it needs to be. Speaking on the positives, we were talking about a few of the Viking players on the defensive side, especially. We had some really, really good games. Tayon Porter, DeMaurian Smith, Jalen Dollar had double-digit tackles in this contest. Strong effort by those guys. And you were saying we got a defensive player of the week for the Vikings out of that 3.
Yeah, man. Those are the guys we expect to do well. And they show it. They are the leaders on defense. Yeah. All those guys. And Jalen Dollar, he has shown, even last year, year that he's a player. And I'm just glad he's finally getting some credit behind, man. He plays hard, and, you know, being the defensive player of the week for this week, man, is big for not just for him, but for the program. He had some notoriety.
He had some massive plays last year on that defensive side, and now I just expect him to have a really, really good season. Talk about his growth from the time he came into this, you know, and just where he is now. He seems very confident. Yeah, man, he's a transfer force, and, you know, just coming in last year, I know he made some plays. He could put some pressure on some QBs, man, and I mean, he's just a silent assassin. He ain't gonna say much at practice. He just gonna do his job and you know, do it well, man. So it's a pleasure to coach him, and you know, he's anchoring that defensive line. Yeah. They talk about the silent ones, the ones you gotta watch out for. So he got a little something to him, but I like it though. That little edge he has. And props to Portsmouth native Darian King too on the offensive side. 68 yards, 13 carries, had 1 TD in this one. Obviously, I have to speak on the negative. 4 interceptions thrown by Chase. It's worrisome, obviously, for the Viking fan base, but I expect him and the team to shake this one off and just get prepared for Saturday. And, you know, he's shown his confidence. Talk a little bit about Chase's morale, his demeanor, especially coming into practice earlier today, and what you expect from him and his response on Saturday. Well, for the Viking faithful, I know he had a high level of concern, but like I would say, we have to, as coaches, you know, we evaluate ourselves. So we got to make sure we don't put him in that situation. You know what I mean? And nothing against him. He's still confident. We still want him to be a playmaker, but, you know, not just letting him know he doesn't have to try to win it, man. It's a team effort. I think with him sometimes, man, he wants to, you know, and everybody does. He wants to win it. I put it on my shoulders, you know, and that's a big burden, man, especially for a young quarterback. So just letting him know, look, you ain't got to win it, man. Take what they give you. We'll live to play another day. You ain't got to try to be or play hero ball, man. And I think that's the message for him for this week. But he's confident. Like I said, he didn't lose confidence on that. You know, people were going to say what they're going to say, but we're confident in him. The team is confident in him. So I look for him to bounce back and have a big day this Saturday. Let's put a cap on this game on Saturday. Your overall thoughts from what took place at Roebuck Stadium and kind of more so the positives that you can take away from this one. We're trending in the right direction. I mean, I hate to talk about last year, but last year, you know, we played a good team and, you know, they beat us kind of handily. This year we played a good team, and you could see the progress of, you know, now last year we didn't even have a shot to win that game, but this year we were not only in the game, we could have won the game. So just seeing us trending up, man, is something great. And I know if we can continue this momentum from Saturday, we got a good football team. I'm excited, man. Speaking of Saturday, we'll preview the Down East Viking Football Classic when we return, and what a game it's going to be in Rocky Mount. We're looking forward to it. We'll talk more about that coming up. This is Viking Coaches Show on WRVS 89.9.
Do you have a question or comment for Coach Hilliard? Call into the show, 855-899-WRVS.
Hi, it's Rachel Martin with Morning Edition. There comes a time when you've just got to let go of that old vehicle. Lots of great memories, but at this point, it is just taking up space. You could try to sell it, but that can be a hassle. So here's a thought. Let this station take it off your hands. Proceeds from the sale benefit this station, and you could get a tax break. Call today. Thanks.
Call 866-789-8627 and find us online at ecsu.edu/WRVS.
You must have thrown 1,000 pitches teaching him to hit a home run. Spent countless Saturdays running routes so he could learn to hit an open receiver. Endless afternoons teaching him how to hit the three-pointer. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit? Teaching boys that all violence against women is wrong is one of the most important things a man can do. Learn how to start the conversation at teachearly.org. Brought to you by Futures Without Violence and the Ad Council.
As a young teenage boy, I didn't even know what autism was. How do you even spell that? A few years later, I heard that a friend's cousin's son had been diagnosed with autism.
I still wasn't sure what that really meant.
When I went to college, my roommate's brother had autism. When I moved to the city for work, my best friend called me and told me his son had been diagnosed with autism. We were both in shock. I still remember the day I walked into the house and saw that look on my wife's face. I knew something was wrong. I'll never forget how I felt when she said, "Our son has autism."
Autism is getting closer to home. Today, 1 in 88 children is diagnosed with autism. That's a 1,000% increase in the last 40 years. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. Every child deserves to have access to books because children who grow up with books invariably do better in life than children who do not. How do I choose a book? Is it the cover? Yeah, I guess, sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual, so it's a combination of those two. The first book I remember was Captain's Courageous. When I finished that book, I had become so involved with these characters. So here's the thing. If a book's really, really impressing me and the writing is really, really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is. Because the endings of books, if it's really, really well done, that ending, that last thought should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
You're ready to become a scholar. It's time for you to earn your bachelor's or master's degree. At Elizabeth City State University, we're proud of our strong academic programs. We offer 28 bachelor degrees and 4 master's degrees. ECSU also offers flexible online courses to help you achieve your goals. Start the process today. Call 800-347-3278 or find us online at ecsu.edu.
From the football field to the radio, this is Viking Coaches Show on WRVS 89.9.
Love talking about ECSU Mighty Vikings football. Clay Mercer here with ECSU football head coach Marcus Hilliard. I want to speak on the volleyball team for a quick moment. They went 1-3 up in West Virginia over the weekend. They're back in action this weekend as they travel down to Murfreesboro. Their first home game, Coach, it's not until October 5th. So I know you kind of felt that last year. It was like, man, when are we going to be in Roebuck? That home cooking is needed.
Man, that's tough, man, to have those many road games, man. That's a tough deal, man. So I understand what Coach Downer is going through with that.
Mm-hmm. This Saturday, obviously, the ECSU Mighty Vikings will participate in the 26th annual Down East Viking Football Classic. 26. I was at the first one. I feel old.
I think I was at the second one.
Well, so anyway, ECSU obviously in Rocky Mount will match up with St. Augustine's as a team that suffered a 45-7 loss to nationally ranked Lenore-Ryan, and that's nothing to you can't snub your toe with that one. They're a very, very good team. You talked a little bit about St. Aug, and I'm sure you've looked at some video and you know what they're bringing to Rocky Mount. Help the listeners understand what we can expect to see from St. Aug and how we're ready to counteract that.
Yeah, St. Aug, man, especially defensively, they got some guys. One of the guys that Elizabeth City would know well, and Kavion Freshwater, and they play pretty good defense. I know the score wouldn't indicate that, but there was some turnovers there and some things that happened in that game. But defensively, man, they got a pretty good squad, and offensively, they got another Elizabeth City native. Proctor, who, scored the only touchdown for him, man. So they'll present a challenge, man, but I'm confident in what we do, and as long as we execute consistently, it's a very, very winnable game for us.
And you talked about the atmosphere in Rocky Mount. It's like a mini homecoming. I'm expecting the same thing. You talked about the connections with the high school here in Pasquotank County and Elizabeth City and some of those players that will be playing on both sides of the field. I expect a ruckus crowd, and it could be one of those opportunities for the Vikings to feed off of the energy that they see in the stands and get ourselves our first win of the season. Yeah,
man, Rocky Mount has always been great to us, man. Just the atmosphere, the Down East Classic, and this year we have some sibling rivalry, man. We have a Freshwater, they have a Freshwater, and it's it's just something, man. They've already been exchanging some pleasantries already
on social media,
man. And gracious. So we ready to go, man. I just think it's a great atmosphere, and the crowd is there, man. It's like you said, it's a mini homecoming for us in Rocky Mount, and just excited for the fans to come and fellowship and watch some good football.
Yeah. You talked about the momentum of some of the positives that they took. That we taken from Saturday's game. I expect that momentum to just ride right into Saturday's contest. Talk about the players, though. When you're having these practices over the next few days, you can get amped up for Rocky Mount, but it's kind of like you got to kind of keep them calm and keep that energy low until they run out there on that field and the kickoff happens. How do you keep their minds and really their energy where it needs to be so they're ready to explode on Saturday? Yeah,
that was the message today, to make sure that, despite all the celebrations and the fan fest, which we'll have on Friday, stay focused on the task at hand, man. We have to win this game. And we have a group of players now that understand that. I don't think they're going to get caught up in the hoopla of the Down East Viking Classic. They understand, man. Some of those guys were ready to play today. When you get a loss, man, you just want to get that taste out your mouth right away, man. I don't think the antics of the game or the actual Down East Classic will, make a difference for our guys. Their focus and, look to get that win on Saturday.
You've played in the Down East Viking Football Classic. Now you're coaching on the sidelines for the second time. The difference between being a player and a coach. What is the feeling for you? Does it feel the same as you running out there on the field and getting ready to play?
Man, as a player, man, the Down East was the deal. It was just like, because we used to have the banquet, and
that's right.
I can just remember as a player, man, Fayetteville was part of the Down East, and the chancellors would get up there talking trash to each other, and the betting, ADs would get up there talking trash, and then you got to play the game. You got to actually play the game. So, we don't have all of that like that used to back in the day. It was kind of that, but still, man, just being a part of, like I said, just being a part of as a player and now a coach, man. A coach, it gives you different perspective.
Yes.
A coach is, you like the game or whatever, but you want to get a win. That's the deal, man. I love the Down East, but as a coach, it's just like, man, let us get this win, regardless if it was Down East, a regular home game or whatever. So that's the difference kind of for me.
I love it. The Down East Viking Football Classic in Rocky Mount this Saturday. Kickoff is set for 1, as usual. We'll bring you the game from start to finish here on Your Community Voice, just in case you can't make it out there. But we want you in Rocky Mount, so you can get your tickets right now online at ECSUVikings.com. We've come to the end of the show, and Coach, I like to kind of give you the microphone and just talk to the Viking faithful, kind of just get them ready for what's about to happen in Rocky Mount.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to all the Viking faithful being there this Saturday in Rocky Mount, coming to cheer us on. I'm telling you guys, we got you, man. We hear you guys. We are close, all right? But we need you guys to come in and push us to the finish line, man. And I know you guys are going to show up and show out. So excited and can't wait to see you guys on Saturday.
I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. Coach, again, thank you for making this show happen. Listeners, if you missed out on any parts of this show or you want to check out past shows, just go to the WRVS 89.9 Facebook page as well as our YouTube channel and listen to Viking Coaches Show anytime. For ECSU football head coach Marcus Hilliard, I'm Clay Mercer. We'll see you next week for Viking Coaches Show, and we'll see you all on Saturday in Rocky Mount for the Down East Viking Football Classic. We thank you for joining us. Have a good evening. We'll see you next time.